got it done.
Moody.
Still interesting too, like from near the Baltimore Corporation, Prophet Noble Jolly's solar degree is literally ascending right now. That's even more interesting. Like, we couldn't have made that up. Alrighty, y'all. Peaceful greetings to ye all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hassan Ghazio Bey here in Morocco at Northwest of Maxim. How are you? Welcome all to our Impromptu Improv, right? This is what we do on Fridays. We do Impromptu Improv. This is the final article for the Zodiac Constitution, Article 7. And then we'll think of some type of improvisation to do when it comes to next Friday. Be a lot more improv style. I know we've been doing things, seemingly at random, but having consistent, consistencies each consecutive Friday pertaining to whatever we came up with, to improvise for that particular Friday. But this is Article 7 we're at here now, guys. And I think this may be the 8th Friday, because I think we only kind of went into the introduction maybe at the beginning. Maybe we did touch on the first, but I think we only did about 7 or 8 Fridays worth as far as this Zodiac Constitution is concerned, our Zodiac Constitution. However, before going in on that, guys, I am here with my magnificent and beloved brother, in whom I'm well pleased, and he is...
Before I even introduce myself, bro, it don't even seem like we've been going in on this for like 7 or 8 Fridays.
I know, right? Like,
man, we already at the end, but
yeah.
Islam, peace and love, Pazia Moor to all ye beautiful people on this beautiful holy day. I am Brother Sean Aline L. You already know that all was well. I know y'all know. If you don't know what the bros call me sometimes, man, the other appellation, but I be forgetting, bro. What was that appellation?
Bret Oh, that's always fun, man. Classic. So, guys, again, like Brother Sean said, happy Holy Venus degree to ye all. Right. And just to kind of go back on when we got started on going over this, the sun was still transiting Leo. So we are now completing while the sun is transiting Libra. So that's a sextile by sign worth of presentation there, guys. All right. So this is, going to be fun. All right. And as we go in on this, and I trust that this is helpful to those of you that do view what we share. I think this makes 412 videos. Like, guys, like I don't know if we're gonna quote unquote stop. We just may like change up how we do things, because that's more than enough to keep you, like, that's more than a year's worth of material. It's only 365 and 1/4 days in a year, and we're at 412 right now, right, as far as videos are concerned. So we definitely have more than a year's worth, all right, of videos for you guys. Like, literally. I mean, I'm not saying it's a year's worth in terms of hours, as far as, you watch one video a day, you won't get through it in a year. Like, that's what I'm saying.
For real. And you even gotta add in the research to what we've been over. It's like, you might as well tack on some more.
Yeah, especially for those that are sincere about, seeing what it is that we're bringing up, and then they go and, do some research on their own to prove it for themselves. So that's just, it is what it is, man. And we're having a lot of fun doing this. I will admit. I know I am. So with that being said, we're just going to get started. We're going to jump right into the lesson. Brother Sean is going to do the invocation termed the Moorish American prayer. I'll be doing the first letter to be read in every meeting, and Brother Sean will be doing the second letter to be read in every meeting. I'm going to go and share the screen here and bring up our invocation in from the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions, pages 48 and 49. 48 has our invocation in termed the Moorish American prayer, where you see handsomely standing due guard in his Moorish Sharif Fez and Abba is Prophet Noble Jurali. And on page 49 is our authority. Just want you guys to kind of get familiar with that more and more every day. I trust that, a lot of beings out there can take advantage of studying. I know times have changed. Things are different than, when I started taking nationality and birthrights seriously for myself and my loved ones and my Moorish community, for which it stands in our hearts and minds, despite the avalanche of lies heaped upon us daily in different publications out there, on, the internet and other people's, I guess, news publishings, as they call it. However, I trust when ye all participate in viewing any of the content presented by Seven Hill Star, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, if you guys find us there, just any social media. That's just a few that I know we have accounts for. Anything dealing with Astrology Street, just know that, it's all done with making sure you guys have exactly what you need. All righty. And I trust, ye all do some good with yourselves, like back in the day when we would really do these studies to really comprehend for ourselves and not do it for any other reason that's not really beneficial. And, as you get your experience, you'll know what benefits you and what doesn't. All right. So I'm going to zoom in here on our invocation end, guys, and we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index in the middle on the right, and we'll hold those up as we face east while standing on a 45, how Prophet Noble Ali's feet are there, right? And we can repeat after Brother Sean either aloud or in our hearts as he goes over and recites the Moorish American prayer.
Islam.
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Ameen.
Ameen. Indeed. Indeed. All right, guys. So we're going from pages 48 and 49 in the administrative. Now we're going to take it to pages 84 and 85. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928, Anno Domini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. Administrative functions, Moor Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Ali, founder, Chicago, Illinois, January 18th, 1929, to be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother Islam, I'm glad to know that I have few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me in the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as an American citizen, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago. In the past, it is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President Hoover for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. And now, guys, we're going to the Moorish literature excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper. You see on page 12, handsomely standing Dugard in his Moorish shirt, he says, Anaba is Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And on page 13, I yield the floor to our beloved brother, whom well pleased, Brother Sean Alim El Islam.
Islam. Divine warning by the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim. Governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Indeed, Islam, brother. So now we're going into the Zodiac Constitution by Charles Mosley Bay, right? Who I term, according to my heart, the Caliph, superly defending the faith here. Brother Sean, as usual, will be doing the initial reading, and I will be doing my yeah, I'm serious, member. Doing my ad libs as usual, right? To just impart some of the wisdom that I would like to share based on what we're reading here. And again, guys, this is just for the people in the cheap seats. I'm kidding. The Zodiac Constitution by Charles Mosley Bay, right? Copyright certificate, AA 222141, Library of Congress, Washington, District of Columbia, right? Bank of Columbia. Islam, I self-line master, right? And it's very interesting too, on that cover bit of Article 1, the lawmakers of the 50 Union State Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American Zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution. It would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Carta code. So along with doing our due diligence to make sure we have documentation go into any venue where they're trying to make any claim against, Moors and Moorish subjects, right? When I say Moors, I am also saying Moorish Americans. And when I say Moorish subjects, I'm really speaking about all those that technically are not Moorish American by their own declaration and proclamation. However, with the bit that I've studied at, according to my studies this far, just in this little bit of 9 years, I see why, actually everyone who's not a declared and proclaimed Moorish American technically is a Moorish subject and is really under the protection of true and faithful, sincere Moorish Americans. And I know that's probably a bit of news to some, and some wordings put in certain combinations that many may not be familiar with. However, we are here at Article 7, all right? And I'm going to yield the floor to our beloved brother, in whom we're well pleased, Brother Shawnee Mel Islam.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go. Article 7, the Moorish Americans' freedom and legal in the Christian Union courtroom. In the Christian Union courtroom, the Moors cannot be forced to remove their red fez from their heads, nor can they be forced to raise their hand and take an oath over the Christian Bible.
So when we're really being ourselves and, being in complete honor, not like what, because a lot of people have taken what's been shared these past few years what's been shared is the information that has come from Moorish Americans. What people have done is try to find a way to not be Moorish American, which is their birthright, especially since it's heavily documented. When you're really seeing that these beings that people are trying to get relief from, they want relief from police and sheriffs and relief from attorneys and stuff with certain things. See, the thing is, the battle is with the attorneys. When you really realize who is who and what is what, as far as what you think is government, and then when you find out that a lot of beings are private mercenaries feigning as government, you'll actually realize that it comes to a time where we are to hold our own court, our own venues. And so Moorish Americans, when studied properly, would comprehend a letter rogatory. And comprehending a letter rogatory would be based on one actually reading what a letter rogatory is actually about and being able to have any situation dealing with Moorish Americans pulled from out of a de facto Christian Union courtroom and have that issue be brought into our own court so that we can be able to find out, investigate, and minister to whomever is, needing to be, quote unquote, extradited from the Christian Union courtroom by letter rogatory to our own. And when we really comprehend these things, we'll be able to be who we need to be without really having to even think, because we don't have to do or prove to anyone that's really in a private company that is involved in human trafficking and racketeering through their Christian Union courtrooms, which has nothing to do with us. I yield.
Neither can Moors, the Bays and Ales, employ white or Negro, quote unquote, lawyers to represent them
at all. So, when people are sincerely Moorish American and comprehend their natal chart, as it's called, which is their genethliacal figure, their immediate zodiac constitution, and then comprehend the zodiac constitution, which we're reading now, comprehend ye holy Quran, as some say, or Holy Quran, and your 101 questions for Moorish Americans, you are able to have a baptism, a washing pertaining to your mind. That is a real brain washing, so to speak, from it being so brain dirtied from belief and ignorance. Brains have been dirtied by belief and ignorance. And once ones actually study sincerely and do not allow themselves to be regulated as chattel property, it's very easy and clear to see what the remedy is and write the remedy. What has to happen, however, is there needs to be a consistency. There needs to be meetings held competently without giving off the energy that one is trying to get along with the Christian Union members. Because technically, they are Moorish subjects also. And this is why if they ignore our Moorish Zodiac Constitution law, they violate their own Magna Carta code, which is completely derived from our Moorish Zodiac Constitution law. So they could never supersede us. They could never lawfully try us, convict us, adjudicate upon our life's energy, ever. If they purport to do, they are in supreme violation of their Magna Carta code, especially when put on notice. I yield the floor, Islam.
The reason for this is that white, quote unquote, people and their Negro, quote unquote, slaves definitely cannot represent free Moorish Americans.
It is impossible, completely impossible to do so. I yield.
The Negro is the property of the Union slaveholders. The Moors must respect the court by saying, I affirm, quote unquote. Here, the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically makes them qualified to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution law and their mathematical number 9.
Look at that. Look at that. Yes, Moors affirm, and I get it. And some of these state statutes, which only apply to state employees, they do not apply to everyone. I really think the people need to comprehend that the most. Who do statutes, codes, and policies actually apply to? And then comprehend why participating in things based on what you believe or what you think is the norm in order to have things in life, you need to comprehend why that needs not to be done. And things need to be done from comprehending what these statutes, codes, and policies are and to whom they apply. Period. And so when it especially comes to Moors, Moorish Americans, you can respect the courtroom by saying, I affirm. Of course, you can make sure you're clear on what you are affirming. And in that instant, comprehend it properly and correctly because you have been doing your studies diligently. You know that Christian Union Court has no jurisdiction over you. Which makes you automatically qualified to defend yourself by what? By your own Zodiac Constitution law and your mathematical number 9. Shout out to Mother Rashida Bey. This is Yarha of Great Seal because she's given me quite a few things, even, shared a few adventures herself with having to show up being the Sayaraha on behalf of Moorish Americans that called upon her. And our Zodiac Constitution does hold firm, especially when we conduct ourselves in an intelligent tone and conduct ourselves consistently with Prophet Noble Drew Ali's lessons by Prophet Noble Drew Ali's lessons, as well as our Zodiac Constitution. I yield, bro. Islam.
Islam. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth, what makes you yourself the great I am, the first and the highest law of self.
Look at that. First highest law of self.
Of self-protection and self-preservation in harmony with your Zodiac 12 signs unchanged constitution, moral law of 360 degrees squared by your number 9.
So a lot of people out there are just wanting to, well, let's get a trust and a DBA and let me learn how to run my trust and have a holding company and then a management company and all these things. Not knocking you guys to do it. It's just for some reason my spirit is saying all of that it just doesn't seem necessary to me. What seems necessary is to stand on the Zodiac Constitution. If there's someone within a jurisdiction trying to pull you into that jurisdiction and you don't belong within that jurisdiction, then one, why are you there? And two, who are they? And why do they think that they can just pull you into their jurisdiction, right? So you are the great I am, period. Be your chart and evolve your chart. Man, know thyself and thy father God Allah, which according to my studies gives an adept message that is mind, know ye self, and the process which mother chooses to call upon all balanced law pertaining to the Zodiac. I yield the floor, brother Islam.
Islam. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as, quote unquote, the Holy Quran or Al-Quran.
Look at that. Look at that. Go ahead, I yield.
Meaning the earth, the moon, the sun, and the 7 planets, or the chronology, zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate, North America.
So now you guys see that the Moorish Zodiac Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as the Holy Quran. So people are going to be like, hold on, so you mean the book with the 7 on it and the intelligent beings say the 4 gates and the 7? I know colloquially it has been said the circle 7. However, from here on out, we're going to call it, this is why I say cycle 7, because I'm referring to the 4 gates pertaining to the 4 seasons, as well as it meaning some other things for those beings that look at other levels of here, of the levels of earth, and going past certain so-called walls that have different gates to them. However, here at the North Gate, I am saying that you're seeing evidence here that someone else outside of our community is referring to our Moor Zodiac Constitution as the Holy Quran. So once again, Prophet Noble Drew Ali was bringing knowledge and information to a people that could not handle the complete truth. So he had to meet them where they were within their Christian stupor. They're Christian resident, which means they were knocked in the head and now they dwell in Christian stupidity. Not because Christianity is stupid. It's Moors who are unconscious thinking that that's their position. That's what is stupid about it. It's not designed for them. Period. It's more designed from the Coptic faith for our Albion sons and daughters, earthly salvation. Period. Even though, if being good subjects, our Albion sons and daughters can be able to move appropriately utilizing the Moor Zodiac Constitution. However, remember, they had to derive their own immoral Magna Carta code from our Moor Zodiac Constitution. It doesn't mean the Moor Zodiac Constitution is wrong and evil and immoral. It means that the Magna Carta code is immoral. And that immoral Magna Carta code was developed from our Moor Zodiac Constitution, where somebody took a good thing and did some fuck shit with it. Plain and simple. Right? Mother Janelle Blashow says, Islam, brothers, Islam. Mother Janelle, brother Derek Blash Bay says, Happy Holy Venus degree, everyone. Indeed, brother Derek, happy Holy Venus degree. Brother Derek also says, either you're a, or, okay, oh no, I get it. Okay, either you're a Moor or you're a subject of the Moor. Correct. Peace and friendship treaty. Correct, brother. That is absolutely correct. Chin V says, Interessante. Number 9 reminds me of Ninth Amendment. All unenumerated rights, including firmly held religious beliefs with no harm to any other. Correct. And Gen V also says, greetings, brother Sean and Hassan and everyone. Indeed, Gen V. Peaceful greetings to you also. Islam. So we yield, bro, but it's just so funny how people like, how some elder Moors whose minds have been infiltrated, or they are these clandestine Prince Hall Masons who have infiltrated the Moorish Science Temple of America and then think that they are now the authority pertaining to the Moorish Science Temple of America and Prophet Noble Drew Ali, which is evidence, that type of mindset is evidence pertaining to the folly that they participate in, which automatically removes them from the office in which they think they hold. And that's not me talking crap. That's me referring to the 805 ILCS 110. Because at the end of the day, yes, Prophet Noble Drew Ali filed at out there near the Illinois State Republic with the county recorder near the county called Cook County. And what he filed was our authority there. Period. And when comprehended appropriately, one can see that many beings who think they are some type of head or leadership pertaining to the Moorish Science Temple of America, they have removed themselves by their own behavior. Period. Brother Hassan has never been nor wants to be some so-called leader of the Moorish Science Temple of America. However, I do have comprehension that my body is the Moorish Science Temple pertaining to Al-Marak. Everyone's body is that, provided they actually get taught and reminded. Therefore, honoring their ancient foremothers and forefathers so that their days may be long upon the earth land. Right? Earth, moon, and sun, man. Those old Moors are like, the prophet ain't bring this, the sun, moon, and stars, Mo. I know he didn't bring them. However, if you pay attention to that invocation in that we go over, it says by night and by day through his holy prophet. So how do you know when it's night? How do you know when it's day? Unless you're just ignoring that sun there, again, you're ignoring the sun. Are you ignoring it? Just kind of curious if you're ignoring the sun. So you're ignoring the earth, the moon, and the sun, and the 7 planets pertaining to the chronology zodiac record, pertaining to our Moorish nation here at the North Gate, contemporarily called North America. That's why you guys, just because somebody's in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and they say they're Moorish American, does not mean that they're an authority. Period. Our authority is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali filed by religious affidavit, Religious Corporation Act affidavit. And that was done not to be a subject of the Illinois State Republic. That was done to help facilitate a means to clean up the minds pertaining to unconscious Moors. I yield the floor, beloved brother Islam.
Islam. The name Muhammad, quote unquote, prophet, religion, God, church, temple, and mosque were established by the Dutch Anglo-Saxon priesthood Franciscan fathers of North, who overthrew the Moorish Society of Islam between 1789 and the Union of 1863.
So even when people go, well, hold on, this is why some people say foolish stuff like the prophet kicked Siambe out the temple and these beings were not there, right? And they're just going off of stories handed down through infiltrated mindsets and infiltration communication. What's even being said here with the proper mindset, one can see that Prophet Noble Drew Ali used Muhammad, Muhammadans, prophet, terming religion, God, even using temple as a means to help the people out of the burning building pertaining to their consciousness, helping them out of that. So when he said go back to that mindset, which means you're in a condition and in a type thinking that he met you there, but he's like, go back to that mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Learn to love instead of hate, so that your days may be long upon the earthlands, that you may learn to love instead of hate. I'm paraphrasing. So by Religious Corporation Act's affidavit, one is known as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. However, with a mindset pertaining to our ancient foremothers and forefathers, we see El Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. Those of us who can handle those adept degrees pertaining to the information shared and being able to see the knowledge that's there and then be able to have the wisdom imparted within and be able to share the wisdom without or outwardly, right? So remember, there's only 2 societies: Moorish Society of Islam, and then that, Mary and her son Jesus society. It's only 2 on this planet. That's it. Everything else you think has just been things to keep you from getting to this ultimate truth here. And I get it. A lot of people are going to ignore it. It's none of our business. If you want to continue being Negro, Black, colored, African American, Indian, homosexual, that's fine. I mean, nature is going to get rid of you. But you've made your decision. And that's not, trying to upset anyone. Again, when I speak truth for real. And I've been documenting my journey for the last 9 years that I can refer you to the documents that I've studied, as well as videos where I've actually taught lessons on the things that I've studied and why the mindset I am utilizing is being utilized for me to share this information. So if you're offended, have a talk with your ears in the mirror for allowing you to take in sounds that do not intend to offend you, yet your ears and your feelings have now colluded against you and now have placed a burden on your thinking. I yield the floor, beloved brother Islam.
Islam. The Moors, the Bays and Ales must never attempt to teach or lecture in the Christian institutions, namely church, temple, mosque, school, and hall. This
Look
is
at
a
that.
violation.
Continue, I yield.
Indeed. This is a violation of the Union, Society, States' Rights, Magna Charta Code of Mary and Christ.
Yeah, never attempt to teach or lecture. I yield, bro. Never attempt.
The truth of the Moor Zodiac Constitution law and Moor human principles definitely conflicts with the Christian Union customs and doctrine of the Magna Charta from every angle.
Yeah, so, them trying to be like, oh, we don't recognize Moors or whatever. It's like, first of all, we're not even supposed to be interacting. But you want to use your human trafficking practices based on your immoral Magna Carta code to war against Moorish Americans, and then try to propagate information out to others within the world that Moors are someone or some beings that are evil, and think that the law doesn't apply to them. It's not what we think. That's what we know what the law of nature is based on. And just because you sit there and make up statutes, codes, and policies and things like that, that you actually learned how to do from us teaching you to be able to have you be civilized amongst your own. Now you're trying to hold your mothers and fathers to your own means and ways to be civilized. How dare you? I yield, bro. Islam.
Nor do not criticize the white, quote unquote, people's belief in the religion of their son and woman image.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're not going to make fun of you. It's just we're saying stay the fuck over there with that shit. That's all we're saying, respectfully.
Period.
I yield.
Nor do not ever attempt to influence the white, quote unquote, people to accept the moral truth and principles of your 12-sign zodiac constitutional law, because the Magna Carta is a Latin phrase meaning magnate chata of white, quote unquote, people's economic and social attraction only, which had its beginning in the colonies of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois in 1848 and 1854.
So now, with that even being said, during those times of slavery, right, between 1789 and 1863, right, this Magna Carta code, right, got its start, and it's only for the pale skins, our Albion sons and daughters. This is why I keep seeing quotes around white, because they are not white. Albion sons and daughters, ye are loved. However, ye are not white. You can never be white. Just like unconscious Moors can never be black. However, we do know that black does denote pale. So if we are referring to our Albion sons and daughters as pale skins, then our Albion sons and daughters are the black people, and always have been, and will always be that until they are either absorbed genetically and enough sex happens to rid the planet of our pale skinned sons and daughters, or they transition naturally without procreating. Respectfully, I'm not being mean. Again, I'm just telling the truth. So recognize where it got its start. The colonies pertaining to Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. This is where our Albion sons and daughters enforced the best they could their temper tantrum. We're going to enforce our temper tantrum this way. So to the Albion daughters out there who think I'm handsome and you try to shoot your shot, don't be mad at me. Just comprehend that this is one of the reasons why I'm not interested in you, respectfully. All right? It's all good. Don't get upset about it. I know there's some brothers, and there'll be some Moorish brothers that will take you Albion daughters on, just not Brother Hassan. That's all I'm saying. All right. And with that, I yield the floor, bro. Islam.
If the lawmakers of the 50 Union State Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish Americans' zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution, it would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Charta Code.
Okay, so it's not in chapter 1, the beginning. Remember I showed you guys in the beginning, I was like, what's on the cover of this? And I was like, boom, right there. That's what I was reading. I was like, it's in chapter 1. Forgive me. It's in article 1. It's in article 7. Look, Brother Sean just read it. Alpha and Omega. Looky, Astro Cookie. All right. So if the lawmakers of the 50 Union State Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish Americans' zodiac law and birthrights pertaining to this Constitution, it would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Carta Code, which is the Albion sons and daughters' economic and social attraction. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I mean, hey, if you guys disagree out there, you can be kind and just comment, right? Questions, comments, and or suggestions going once. Brother Sean, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts based on what we've read here, man? What we're going over?
The people just need to seriously think, because, what's right, what's divine isn't really made known, or it's not made to seem like it's popular or the thing to look at. So a lot of people don't know. And then when presented with information, they're so caught up on what they believe in and what everyone else is doing, they can't really think or see anything for themselves. So instead of, just stepping back and actually, all right, well, let me read this and let me think about it. Let me, cross-reference and cross-check, rather than just doing things that are just distractions. They can really see that, it's in the last paragraph, should attempt, they're past, attempting, they are outright violating our Moorish Zodiac Constitution and their own Magna Charta Code. But, our people have been trained to think that those that are in government, quote unquote, and that are in these positions are, got our best interests. And it's very much the opposite of it. And then there's even some of our side that are assisting in that. And, what we do is we want you to think, Prophet Noble Release said, if I can just get you to thinking, you would save yourselves. So you must think, you must read, and you have to, start denouncing those things that have been placed upon you. When it said, give to Caesar, render to Caesar what is his. Right. People just have to really, and just see it for themselves, like really just read and think, because it's clear as day, it goes on, but, it's not popular, or, all these different things that, excuses that people can make. But that's why it's important to just get back to knowing your chart, knowing your ancestors, knowing the history, because history and law can be separated. But beings have to just take that, within themselves. And, even when it comes, with studying the science, is that you have to remove yourself from a lot of things, and you just really won't be able to look at things the same again. But that's what the whole crucifixion is giving up the personality and things that you thought was true in order to move forward with things that are divine, and not expecting others to save you, or all these other things. It just come back to studying, reading, really thinking it and getting it, because it's already within you. One will have to just remind themselves or remember of who they are and where they come from, and not what others try to tell you who you are and force you into these things, because they already know. It's just, do you know? Do ye know? I do.
Yep, that's why I kind of just brought this. It just kind of, let's just draw these things together, and let's just kind of go back to December 20th, the 20th of December, 1906, right? This is 50 years before there's a Kingdom of Morocco, the French protectorate term, the Kingdom of Morocco at Northwest Al-Kibalan, which is contemporarily called Northwest Africa. And this was during the 59th Congress, Second Session, House of Representatives. This is document number 326, titled Citizenship of the United States, expatriation, and protection abroad. And this letter is from the Secretary of State at that time. You guys might want to go back and do your research and see who was the Secretary of State in 1906. All right. Report on the subject of citizenship. All right, so it's a report on the subject of citizenship, expatriation, and protection abroad. So it was the 20th of December 1906, referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs in order to be printed, right? So Washington Government Printing Office, GPO, 1906. And this is interesting because I want you guys to really absorb this, right? So for those of you that says there's no Moorish American anything, there's no Moorish Empire, you may want to have plausible deniability because you may have sworn a death oath to, hide the fact you have a fez in your closet. You may be a Mason, clandestine, Freemason, right? Instead of being that free-born Master Mason and Eastern Star that we already are when we come here. We don't need to be made over again. I'm not making fun of you that have sat there and worked to give dues to something when, just a conversation with Seven Hill Star, you'll be able to get degrees that you probably couldn't transact for in 10 years. You could get in one conversation. you could get just looking at our YouTube. No, right? Just being serious. All right. American legation, Tangier. Look at that. Why is it coming from Tangier and is dealing with here? Just more clues. And this was the 3rd August 1906, right? So August, September, October, November, December. So it's about 4 months and 17 days that this was obviously written prior to it being published with the GPO. Sir, there are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan. What's this Moroccan that they're talking about that's existing 50 years before the French protectorate called the Kingdom of Morocco? Guys, go and do your own research. That's why I made sure I read the cover. There are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship. Moors don't deal with that, right? There's no citizenship. There's no Moroccan laws, which means that's only some Magna Carta Code, United States of America, club member BS. But it's not BS for them. That's their stuff. That's for our Albion sons and daughters that want to be in that. Cool. Go over there. Do that shit over there. Get the fuck out of our faces, respectfully. There are, strictly speaking, no Moroccan laws relating to citizenship of Moorish subjects in Morocco. What is this Morocco that they're talking about 50 years before Kingdom of Morocco? And you know, most people have been socially engineered that there was no Morocco prior to 1956 when that's an idiot thing to say. The fundamental laws pertaining to this non-Christian country are based entirely upon the Islamic code, no part of which treats of the subject of citizenship. Looky, looky, Astro Cookie. So even to say Moorish American, right, being your nationality, and we're nationals, right? It's my nationality. I'm a national. However, to say that's a type of citizenship, not amongst our own people, but that's how it's classified within the Magna Carta Code Union State Society. That's it. It's not even hard to comprehend. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire. Look at this. What? This is from the who? Secretary of State. Why are they talking like this? Yeah. Why are they recognizing stuff that supposedly didn't exist until Prophet Noble Drew Ali came on the scene? What's happening here? And that was supposed to happen 20 years after that. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about as far as, you know, establishing, you know, our civic organization, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, right? When you go to, I think that was what, the 29th November? Well, it said May 1925, and then I think it was 29th November 1926. When you read the Moorish Leaders' Historical Message to America, which is the last 4 pages in your Moorish literature, for those of us that have a particular Moorish literature, right? So what I'm actually showing is I can do this a lot longer, making all these connections and show you how, you know, the Quran, the 101, the Zodiac Constitution, these documents from even the United States of America's Secretary of State and show you how Moorish Americans are being warred upon. And that doesn't mean for beings to be cowards and not take their place amongst the affairs of men. It's a lot of people out there with copper toned skin that just want to be American Indian. There's no American India anywhere. But there's no Moorish America either. That's not true. Because even the state secretary is telling you that obviously what this is showing you that there's always been a Morocco. And even the contemporary corruption of Al-Marak has been termed America. But because people were so sleep, ignorant, and illiterate at the time Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought this information to them, he met them where they were and said in the 101 questions for Moorish Americans, what is your nationality? Answer, Moorish American. Question, why are we Moorish American? Answer, because we are descendants of Moroccans born in America. That's the short answer. The adept answer, according to my studies thus far, because we are descendants pertaining to Moroccans made manifest here at the North Gate. When you can get past the American part. So why be born in America? Which means, are you being born within a continental congressional atmosphere to whom the United States of America owes its allegiance? The United States of America Corporation owes its allegiance to the Continental Congress. And just because there was a coup or overthrow doesn't mean that it does not still exist. Why do you think we need to be taught and reminded, declare and proclaim our nationality, and then take our place amongst the affairs of men and use this pen to get rid of those that are carrying still the spirit of their forefathers that want to continue to overthrow the Moorish Empire? I know some people aren't going to be able to handle it, but it's okay. It's all right. I'll get to your comment in a second, Martin. I want to stay focused. Not saying that your comment would make me unfocused, but I like to keep with this line of energy that I'm going on here. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire. Various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire. I just want you to be able to caricature how much larger the empire is than those Christian countries, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. But as the Secretary of State upholds, understands from the above acknowledged instructions that it is not the desire of the Department of State, the State Department, to call for a report upon such lines. So the State Secretary during 1906 will therefore confine these remarks. Bro, can you look up who was the Secretary of State in 1906 for me, please? Just want to make sure I remind myself, I remember. Which may, so the Secretary of State will therefore confine these remarks. He's going to confine his remarks to general conditions existing, which may possibly be of some use in connection with the information desired. Desired by whom? Obviously desired by some who want to try their best to circumvent the empire. So citizenship in Morocco, which is, let's see if we can, a word that's only dealing with the United States of America Corporation. While they're in Morocco, this is 1906. This is 50 years before most people think of Morocco existed. This is love. So that corporate term, citizenship, in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries. Which just kind of shows more that even the United States of America owes its allegiance by even behaving according to what Morocco says. You go and have your little citizenship game where you need to have it, in the little corners we put you in called colonies. Cool, have them there, However, don't you dare try to make it, pertain to us. Did you want to be hung for treason? We looked out for you. We recognize the United States of America. Just don't forget you owe your allegiance. That's why George Washington wrote that letter dated 1st December 1789, talking about he ran off on the plug. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to owe you this bread. Yeah, who was the Secretary of State in 1906?
It was Elihu Root from July 19th, 1905 to January 27th, 1909.
Look at that. Elihu Root. How is Root spelled? I'm curious.
R-O-O-T.
Look at that. Man. Looky. Astro Cookie. Elihu and Ruth. Right? Elihu Root. All right. Look at that energy. All righty. Let's continue. So citizenship in Morocco may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. So you can't prove you got foreign citizenship and protection somewhere else, you're a Moorish subject. So if you're a person, right, that's a corporate term. Residing, another corporate term. So citizenship is a corporate term, persons is a corporate term, residing is a corporate term. They all have statutory definitions. And whose statutes? Well, it's definitely not the Islamic code statutes. It's definitely dealing with that United States. This is dealing with citizenship pertaining to the United States of America Corporation, who again owes their allegiance to Continental Congress. Never forget that. Always look at it like this. There are criminals who are seeking to operate within their own little criminal organizations as though they're legitimate, and they have never been legitimate. Since 1789, they have not been legitimate, and they still aren't. And look how many people are just going along and get along because they want their materials, their houses, their land conveyances, automobiles, their clothing, their jewelry. And you're just not going to do anything about what's happening here. There are our Albion sons and daughters got out of order somewhere. So look at George Washington, right? Look at that. Hey, Georgie, you started something. Georgie broke the rules. There was actually some battling going on, and what Georgie did, he attacked at nighttime when everybody was supposed to have been resting. So you broke war engagement rules. And the United States of America Corporation has been operating and has its foundation based on that spirit ever since. So you want to talk about hell? Hell is the United States of America Corporation. And George Washington is the supreme devil. Oh, I'm not being rude. I'm just putting things into perspective. And guess what? Believe nothing I say. Go and do your own research. Ask your worshipful master at your local lodge if he studies, because most lodges are only concerned about fattening their purses. And I am meaning purse. Period. Right? I'll get to 2 and 3 now. More subjects lost their nationality. How? Well, they lost it only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. Looky, Astro Cookie. And you got people talking about they want to naturalize. Naturalize means that you are denouncing being part of the Moorish Empire to be a member that's now called a citizen within the United States of America Corporation, who owes its allegiance to the Continental Congress. That's what naturalization is. So when people talk about natural and native, every time I hear natural or native, I'm just thinking to myself, that's some, even on my nationality card, not knocking, Mother Roz out there. I'm just saying, I know Native American is on our nationality cards only for those idiots that don't study like we study. So it's no more than just a hypnotic spell on the nationality card with Native American on it. For when other people are reading it, they have, because they're idiots. So they're going to see Native American and then have this blind respect because of how they've been socially engineered. Even though I know it says it there, I know I'm particularly not a Native American. That's just one hypnosis tool utilized to better explain as we go back to that mindset pertaining to our ancient foremothers and forefathers. So technically, before even being considered Native American, for that system of things. Because I know amongst our own, we don't need nationality cards amongst our own. That is just for the citizenship recognizing idiots. And I'm using idiots respectfully. You might want to look that up in a dictionary, a law dictionary. Black's Law Fourth, right? Henry Campbell, Black's Law Fourth edition. Just look up idiot, right? And don't be like, oh, Moors love that dictionary. No, 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 no. It's just the book. Go to the reference. Teach yourself, right? So, you know, when it comes to that, being Native American is not who we are. It's just that that's how it's recognized in their system. That's how they'll recognize it. That's not what I'm calling myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know in order to become a Native American or an Indian, you had to denounce being Moorish American. You had to denounce being a part of the Moorish Empire in order to be naturalized into a system that is the only system that recognizes Indians and Native Americans. So even the Indians and the Native Americans, respectfully, are a type of federal agent. Respectfully. It was established by the Convention of Madrid, concluded July 3rd, 1880, as follows. Article 15, which is those next two paragraphs in the smaller print, which is obviously a smaller font than what it's between. Any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country or who shall return to Morocco shall, after having remained for a length of time equal to that which shall have been regularly necessary for him to obtain such naturalization, choose between entire submission to the laws of the empire or the obligation to quit Morocco. So make a choice. Are you going to be a part of the empire, or are you going to quit Morocco and go be naturalized within that country that has treaty relations with Morocco? Unless it shall be proved that his naturalization in a foreign country was obtained with the consent of the government of Morocco. So look, for those of you that are like, well, I got a birth certificate and a social security card, check it out. Those are evidence of naturalization without the consent of the Moroccan government. So it's void ab initio. Yeah, it's void ab initio. Foreign naturalization heretofore acquired by subjects of Morocco, according to the rules established by the laws of each country, shall be continued to them as regards all the effects without restriction. So that's if it was done according to the rules that they just said here. It has to be, it has to be with the consent of the Moroccan government. That was written in July of 1880. That's 26 years before what I said I'm reading from. What Morocco are they talking about in 1880? What? That's 76 years before the French protectorate called the Kingdom of Morocco. Man, this is I love reading. And I love when I see, the history of things that have been shared on the surface, and I go deeper into my own studies and go like, look, here it is right there. Look, looky, Astro Cookie. Anyway, so that was Article 15. So now we're going back to the text pertaining to Elihu Root, Secretary of State during 1906. So Elihu Root, right? Even though it says Philip Hoffman, Hoffman Philip is the one that wrote this, right? It is what it is, right? So we're going to make the connection in our studies with Hoffman Philip and Elihu Root. No worries, right? Hoffman Philip, right, is who's saying that he's the one that is, pinning this, right? So continuing 2 and 3, after the reference there for Article 15 pertaining to the Convention of Madrid, which was concluded 3rd July 1880, the above ruling has never yet been acted upon. Yo. And then 50 years after this, Dwight D. Eisenhower relinquishes the jurisdiction pertaining to the United States, relinquishes jurisdiction in Morocco, which means there is no more United States of America that existed after Dwight D. Eisenhower's tenure. Wrap your mind around the fact that you've been living a simulation. You're in a war. Wake up. You're being warred upon every day. It is a mind control that is taking place right now. And when you go and research when that French protectorate was established, called the Kingdom of Morocco, the United States jurisdiction was relinquished in Morocco, which means it no longer exists here. They have no jurisdiction here since 1956. And really, it's been over since 1864, since Lincoln's assassination in 1865. I think Lincoln's assassination was the 14th April, 1865, if I remember that correctly. Lincoln was assassinated 14th April, 1865. Last lawful, quote unquote, lawful president. However, again, if we go back and recognize what George Washington did, are any of those praetors turned presidents legitimate?
Indeed, bro. Oh, they got a time for that too.
They got a time for what?
When Lincoln was assassinated, as they have, via Google, April 14th, 1865 at 10:15 post meridian.
Yep, he was in the balcony watching the show. All right. Enjoying himself. Right? So, with that being said, the above ruling has never yet been acted upon, and should this at any time be contemplated seriously, a large number of naturalized people, American and others residing in Morocco, would be affected thereby. Man, do y'all know what that means? That's why I said earlier, everyone's Moorish subjects. If you're not a declared and proclaimed Moorish American, you're not a Moorish American national, you're not a declared and proclaimed Moor, which all three are synonymous. This goes to show you're a Moorish subject, and you are under the hypnosis that you've been and are a naturalized citizen. You guys need to really contemplate these things seriously, because then you'll see that there's a large group of people who are warring against you because of the material they can transact for utilizing debits, credits, and Federal Reserve notes. It's a war. And many are victims, if not the entire planet, besides those that are actually, behind making sure that this war continues. Oh, you can end it, but you got to study. You got to be able to read examples of like this document, and be able to make the connections. But see, the reason why I can make these connections is because I never tried to be someone to let me prove Prophet Noble Drew Ali wrong. He just the man, and I ain't got to listen to him like most people do. And out of most of those people, it's usually, unconscious Moorish women, sisters with copper toned skin, who have other psychological issues, and they just want to knock it. And that's why you have some brothers out there too who are sharing in the same psychological issues that would love to never honor Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And this is why certain things are going to take place that people are going to see. Watch, when you guys see like whole time sincere Moorish Americans such as myself and my brothers have been sharing the truth and teaching accordingly. A lot of you guys are gonna kick yourselves, but it's all good. Don't be upset. It's all good. It's just growing pains. 4 and 5. Residence in foreign parts does not affect the nationality of Moorish subjects. That means that because you didn't get the consent to naturalize, so you can rest your head anywhere, right? Even though residence is connected to the word dwell, which means to be struck in the head and be stuck or sat in a stupor. That's what etymologically residence refers to. Residence in foreign parts does not affect the nationality of Moorish subjects, and the Moorish government has no means of protecting its subjects permanently residing in other countries, with the exception of a so-called Moorish consul at Gibraltar and a Moorish agent at Cairo, Egypt. Those are the only exceptions. I am, etc. Hoffman, Philip. So Martin Elliott had a couple of questions after some laughter. He says, question, why were the people of Al-Andalusia considered Moors? How did the people of North Africa that dominated the Iberian Peninsula get the title of Moor? Everybody just calls them Moors. And the second question is, in other words, how do we associate Moor with the land? Before associating Moor with the land, like a quote unquote marsh, a place that has a deep saturation pertaining to liquid water and earth soil, which lets me know there's some growth happening there. Even though in contemporary times, most people try to make it seem like it's a nasty, smelly, stinky swamp area. More is happening first within mother's womb. When the ovum, approximately every 28 and a half days, according to the moon cycle, the ovum leaves the ovary. And ovum is what people call egg. The ovum leaves ovary, travels the waters pertaining to the fallopian tube, and then moors itself, being an action. Then I'm utilizing more in verbial application, correct? The ovum then moors itself to the endometrium, which lines the uterus pertaining to mother's womb, thus awaiting defibrillation from what's termed sperm cell from a son who had that set within him by his mother. So Moor first comes from the fact that everyone is moored. You come through the womb of woman, and that process is taking place, being moored to the endometrium, which lines mother uterus within her waters, right? That's the waters pertaining to earth, right? Earth and heart are the same word, with the H transposed from the end of earth to the beginning, now making it heart. So within the center, within the core, pertaining to mother, that's mooring. And the process in which the defibrillation takes place, that is called being fathered. So the term moor and the term father are both verbs first before being nouns. That's why we want active moors and not passive moors, because a verb is action. That's what's happening. So with that being said, after we are gestationally going from zygotic, embryonic, and fetal stages within what's termed 3 trimesters, 270 to 273 degrees of solar transit within the zodiac, then we are made manifest as we are baptized. That's the waters breaking. Mother's water breaking. That's the baptism. And then being crowned, what they call the cervix dilating 10 centimeters. Oh, she's crowning. Which is why we wear fezzes, which is symbolic pertaining to that crowning. So wearing the fez is in honor of being in mother's womb. And the thing is, after exiting that womb, we are within the womb of the celestial sphere upon earth. Some of your worshipful masters don't even have what I just said to you. And if they do, you got to probably give up a couple more thousand to get those degrees. Not saying I'm better than them or anyone. I'm saying you're welcome. Any other questions, comments, and/or suggestions going twice? It's the first time I asked Brother Sean. We're about to get ready for court strategy class, right? With Malika and Sunny at Lawful Living. We're about to get ready, right? Mother Sahar, peaceful greetings to ye also, beloved mother. She says, happy Holy Venus degree. Happy Holy Venus degree to ye also, mother. Indeed. This is where I and Brother Sean say, be ye selves and
donate.
Donate, of course, guys. For sure, for sure, for sure. Questions, comments, and/or suggestions going thrice. Questions, comments, and/or suggestions going thrice, guys. This is the portion where we thank you all for that. Next day, guys, if you want to join us, join I and Brother Sean. It's going to be 30 units to join us, right? 30 units, you're not a member. We're going to have a discussion, right? I know I was supposed to send the email out yesterday. I'll just probably send it out today and do advertisement just to remind you guys or whatever. Hey, look, come on out, check us out or whatever when it comes to that. I'll put it on the website also. Want you guys to come out and enjoy the the astrology concepts correction discussion, right? 30 for those of you that are not TUPAC members. TUPAC is the Universally Professional Astrology Community. If you're not a member, right? If you are also not a member, but you have a student card, it's 15 for you to participate via our Cash App, right? The caduceus symbol, OurAstrologyStreet, or what you call the $ for Cash App, OurAstrologyStreet. And if you are a member, you already know it's free for you. However, if you want the video, we ask for at least a 5-unit donation via Cash App for the video for members. And for everyone else that's not a member, it's 10 units for you to get your hands on that video, at least a 10-unit donation for you to get that video. All righty. So with that being said, there are no questions, comments, and no suggestions after going over it thrice, guys. This is what we're going to do. Martin Elliott says, Islam, I have to watch the rest of your breakdown on the replay. Indeed, no worries. No worries at all, Martin. I trust you enjoy it and share it with your loved ones because this is how we consistently do what it is that we do. All right. So with that being said, guys, this is the portion where we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, just the index and middle on the right. All right. We're going to stand on a 40-degree angle while facing east. And you can repeat after me, either aloud or in ye heart. Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
All righty, guys. Thank you all so much. Go and get some nourishment for yourselves. I know I'm about to, and then get ready for court strategy class with Malika and Sunny at Lawful Living. All right. So with that being said, guys, we enjoy this time with you. It was almost 2 hours, bro, because I remember when we got started, 17 degrees, Capricorn was on the rise. Now 14 degrees, Aquarius is on the rise. So it's almost 2 hours, right? So with that being said, guys, we love you all. Gratitude indeed, Brother Derek Blash Day, and all of you that have joined us and have interacted with us in the chat. We love you all. Make sure, like we said, make sure you get yourselves something good to eat and to drink, right? Water is always great, right? I think I want me a couple of apples for right now until we have supper. So with that being said, guys, when you rest and recharge, make sure you rest and recharge well. And this is where we say to you all, we love you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace.
Peace.